What is up, everybody? Today is Thursday, February 6th. I took 3 trades today. 2 of them are losers, and 1 of them was a break-even trade. I actually could have been less red today, but unfortunately, I did not take profit on that break-even trade, even though it was over a 1-to-1. I had a feeling, but it's okay. So let's get into it. So starting out on the 4-hour time frame, we're obviously bullish. The obvious draw on liquidity is right up here, so we mark that out. And excuse me, I deleted all of the drawings that I had on here, so this video might be a little bit longer since I have to put in the drawings itself. But so that was the draw on liquidity that I had for today. I have a strong feeling that we're going to hit that tomorrow now, obviously, since we didn't hit it today. The one thing that I was looking to see was we obviously have this 4-hour imbalance right there that we are just hanging out inside of. We constantly tap into it. I truly wanted to see this 4-hour imbalance get tapped into, but we didn't get that. That was the ideal scenario. I wanted to see something like this tap down into here, and then we skyrocket off of that. But unfortunately, like I said, it didn't happen. And then down on the 1-hour chart, same thing. We had a 1-hour imbalance right there. We did invalidate that, and it was showing bearishness for a little bit there. Because of that, but we came back and reclaimed this 1-hour imbalance here at 9 a.m. So then it turned back to bullish order flow for me. We were inside this 1-hour imbalance that also it did not get invalidated until later in the day, actually, but this was one that we were just hanging out in, and I still was looking for a long setup to at least target this high right here. As you can see, we got that at the open, and it was kind of tricky for me. I was looking mostly at the 15-minute time frame just to see what the order flow was like on it. As you can see, we are disrespecting bearish imbalances. Then we are disrespecting, well, there really isn't any bullish imbalances here, but the only bullish one was this one right here that we did disrespect. So that was what actually led me into wanting to take a short here. But then, as you can see, we have a bullish or a bearish imbalance that then gets invalidated, which leads me to taking a long setup 2 times. And the second time was the one that reached the 1-to-1. The first time I got instantly stopped out. These 2 trades here, I instantly got stopped out on both of them, which sucked. But yeah, as you can see, price action was not ideal today. There was like almost no structure. I would say this was kind of a search and destroy kind of day, right? We take out the high, we take out these lows, we come back, we take out this high, we take out this low, and then we come and take out the high again. So there's really no direction, there's no structure to base any kind of trade off of it. It was just very tough price action. I know a lot of people blew up their accounts, but if you had proper risk management, you should be okay. So like I said, the order flow was bearish on the short term here on the 15-minute, and so that's why I was looking to go short. I didn't go short during the macro itself. I actually was a little late to it. That was my issue. That was a wrong trade. I took the trade outside of the macro. Actually, let's see if there would have been any kind of good profit target had I taken it inside the macro. So it's obvious to see where my entry would have been. It would have been this 1-minute imbalance right there, that as soon as that got invalidated, which it got invalidated right there, this should have been the setup that I took. And as you can see, that easily hit a 1-to-1.5 very quickly too. So I could have taken off some profit here at the low for a little over a 1-to-1, and I probably would have done that because of how price action was acting throughout the day. If you look at the 10 o'clock open, it was very tricky because it wasn't giving any kind of clear direction as to where it wanted to go. Because you can see price displaces over, displaces under, displaces back over, and then it's respecting under. And then overall, at 2 o'clock, we closed a little bit over. So it was very difficult to see which side was going to end up becoming the upper or the lower wick. So it wasn't as clear as other days. But regardless, if you see the reason why my trading model is the way it is in terms of time and price, this trade right here would have paid out, or I would have put it to break even, and my target would have been low a day, and I would have gotten stopped out at break even. So that would have saved me, right? But because I forced the trade after the fact, I know that it is a lower probability setup. This is a good example for my students as to why you need to listen to what I've taught you, which is to trade within the macros, within a appropriate time window. And I believe I also was not in a quarterly cycle. You see, I was in Q1, lower probability. This is why I tell you guys, trade within a macro or within the quarter itself, and it should pay you out. So this was obviously my bad. I thought it was going to end up being a continuation, right? We have this bearish structure, a high, a low gets put in, a lower high gets put in. We see an imbalance right there that gets invalidated. Let's mark that out together. Right here, it gets invalidated with this one. I market order in on the next candle and immediately gets stopped out. So that sucked. But it was okay because it was within my risk. I didn't expect it to do much damage, but then as you can see, we started putting the higher high, a lower high, or a higher low, and then we start to move on higher. So now at this point I'm switching my bias to bullish because we're now heading in the opposite direction and we are respecting bullish order flow. The only thing that was bothering me was the fact that we had yet to tap into this 4-hour imbalance down here, which would have fulfilled it going back down into discount, which is the most ideal way to see a pullback form. But because we didn't get that, you know, I was antsy. It was a very stressful day for me too. But no excuse for me to not follow my rules. So then here, I take the invalidation of this bearish imbalance. I figured, yeah, we're going to continue going higher. Again, trading outside of the macro, not retracing back into a higher time frame for value gap, which as you can see is this 5-minute FEG right there. I believe that's a 5-minute FEG. Let's double check. Yep. So there was a 5-minute FEG right there where I should have waited for price to retrace back into. Again, another thing that I teach my students. So I definitely didn't follow any of my rules today and I paid the price. So traded outside of the macro. Here I market order in, I target a new high of day for a 1 to 1.3 risk to reward because at this point I wanted to get something back and immediately stopped out with that massive dump. Now this trade right here was the correct trade inside the macro. I was trying to target a new high of day on that one too, but as you can see on this one, it ended up paying out better because we get the retracement. We get a 1-minute imbalance formed right there. As soon as that gets invalidated right here at this candle right here, sorry. It retraces a little bit. I actually get a lower fill, put my stop below the swing low. Now this trade did hit a 1 to 1.5, I think, or no? It hit a 1 to 1.4. So if I had thought about trying to take my profits off at a 1 to 1, I would have gotten some profits. I would have made back this loss immediately, and then I would have just waited or maybe not traded the rest of the day. But what I ended up doing was I moved my stop to break even as soon as it broke that high because I did not expect for it to come back down, and thankfully I did do that because I was already 2 losses in. I gave myself one more shot and I was very conservative with that. I was very quick to move it to break even. And thankfully I did because clearly that trade ended up losing. So no harm, no foul. Don't even count it. But it was the only valid trade that I should have taken today. So the 2 trades that were pretty valid today. And after seeing this morning's PA, I mean, this one I should have taken some profit off here. I know one of my students did. Shout out to Gabe. He ended up green today because of it. He took profit off here at the low and then put the rest to break even. This one right here, if you would have taken it off at a 1 to 1, which I know some of my students do because they just like to be conservative, good for them. They would have won on that one too. Also another break even trade. So yeah, this is a prime example, guys, as to why you need to stick to your rules. I paid the price. I'm down 1R on my account because I risk 0.5%. So I'm down 1% on my account today. It's okay because I know that my plan works. I'm not losing sleep over this. I know I will come back tomorrow with a better mindset to stick to my rules, and like I have been, and finally my winning streak broke. So it's okay. It happens. I mean, no trader's perfect. It's totally fine. And then after that, we see that we get this massive dump on down, And one of my students actually called this out in the Discord. If you go check out my Instagram, you'll see it. We literally just finished the boot camp, and he ends up seeing this accumulation, manipulation lower, and then he said we were going to distribute higher. He actually got in one of these imbalances right here. And as you can see, that obviously paid out really nice. So shout out to Phil on that one. That was really good. But overall, this market was very tricky. So if you lost today too, don't sweat it. I mean, it's one of the few days that NQ did not decide to play nice. But yeah, hopefully you didn't end up red. Hopefully you ended green, unlike me. It's okay. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. Like I said, for tomorrow, I do think we're going to end up hitting this draw up here. It's almost too primed for it to not hit. If it doesn't hit, I will be thoroughly surprised. It could potentially come down to take out these relative equal lows and then find that support within this 4-hour FEG and then skyrocket and launch into that. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, regardless, we're going to stick to the plan. Obviously, it pays out. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow, and let's have a killer Friday. Peace.